taking place, breaking norms, setting trends. Wage word of the day. Uncontained, making space, cultivating grace. Yeah. Word of the day. Filling space, converging minds on the same page. Every day, every way. Word of the day. Word of the day. Conversation. Yeah. Be alright, be alright. Life is strange, full of pain. Joy and happiness is all the same. But you have to reclaim. Become your best self. Stop tripping off what people say. Don't you know it's gonna be a brighter day, brighter day, brighter day, brighter day. Lift your hands. Do it, y'all. Come on, better, 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 better. Better days are coming. Better days are coming. Better, 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 better. Man, what is going on, everybody? What is going on? Y'all know what it is. It's Wade's Word of the Day. Wade's Word of the Day. I'm so grateful and thankful to be hanging out with each and every one of you on this hump day. Somebody say hump day, hump day. And I believe we're going to get over the hump together. Duchess, we see you. Audrey Barnsley, we see you. Sister Bergen, we see you. Thank you for coming into the space. I need everybody to tag, text. Y'all know what we do in the first 30 seconds. There are simply some acts that we need you to do. We need you to tag, text, and tell somebody. We need you to like the post. And certainly we need you to take the first 30 seconds to hit that heart and that like button. So everybody go ahead and do that real quick if you don't mind. Go ahead and take those 30 seconds and do that real quick. Help a brother out. Help a brother out tonight. Yeah, go ahead and do that real quick. Go ahead and do that real quick. Whew. Grateful. I don't know about you, but I'm grateful to just be operating in this space. I'm grateful to be hanging out with you all. Yeah, it's Wade's Word of the Day. Let's get into it. Y'all know what it is. Taking place, breaking norms, setting trends. Wage word of the day. Yeah, it's Wade's Word of the Day. So, hey, I gave you that 30 seconds. Go ahead and take another 30 seconds and go ahead and just go crazy. Hit the hearts and likes. Then what do we need you to do? We also need you to hit that stars button if you don't mind. Everybody, we're asking everybody who can, 800 stars. That's just $8, y'all. That's just $8. That's not a lot. You know, I don't want to be in anybody's pocket, but if you can do it, go ahead and help us out. Simply hit the stars button. 800 stars tonight. You can do 100 here, 100 there, 100 everywhere. You know what I mean? But 800 tonight. Go ahead and do that for us real quick. We would certainly appreciate it. So, hey, let me give you the 3 pillars tonight. Wade's Word of the Day. We got 3 pillars in terms of what we do in our spaces on our platform. We have the Wade's Word of the Day. That's Monday, Wednesday, Friday night, 8 p.m. Yours truly. I pop in. You know, we chop it up and we talk about everything. Mind, body, and spirit. So all topics. Nothing is really off limits. We try to deal with very practical topics. That's what we do on Wade's Word of the Day. Then certainly we have Sundays with LHBC. That's every Sunday, 10:15. That's where me and the fellas come in. The baddest man in Guitar Land offers us some wonderful music. Um, I give a word, and then certainly Deacon Mark and Brother EJ, they come in and lead our discussion on the word. And so, yeah, we're grateful and thankful for those pillars. And then finally, we got the Life Center. The Life Center is where we do all of our on the ground stuff. And we're gearing up to be very active this summer. So get in where you fit in. Make sure that you go over to all of our spaces, like all of our spaces, hit the notification button on all of our spaces. YouTube, we are there. Pastor R.D. Wade. Um, Instagram, we're there. You can find us there. TikTok, you can find us there as well. So all of our spaces, we need you all to be connected. So tonight, we're going out on YouTube, Facebook, and all of that stuff. And then we take our content and we post it in all of the other spaces. So make sure that you get connected. I certainly would appreciate it. I'll see you, Verlin. Thank you for coming in, and others. So that's what we do. So Hump Day, I was thinking about what would I talk about tonight. And, my mind went back to a couple years ago, kind of, the whole pandemic thing. And we're coming out of that, and I'm grateful. There's still things we have to be cautious of, but for the most part, I believe that we made a turn, and I think that's a good thing. But I don't know about you, but that whole moment in time kind of brought clarity for me, even though I was moving into the space of what I call clarity. I've been doing this for a very long time, to be quite honest, been doing it a very long time. But have been contemplating certain shifts, but then that whole moment in time just brought a lot of clarity to my life. I don't know. Did that happen to you? If that really happened to you, go ahead and put it in the comment section. Let us all know. It brought a point of clarity where I began to really think about, what do you want to do? What do you want to be doing? Right. Through all of these type of things, thoughts about, what brings you happiness, what brings you joy. And so I started to tap in, thinking through a lot of those things, a lot of things that you hear me talking about in this space. I talk about them because I actually navigated my way through those things, right? Really taking a deep dive in terms of what was important, perception versus reality, all of these type of things. Um, you know, what was I going to be talking about and dealing with, coming to grips with a lot of things, right? And so there was a shift that took place, in my thinking, in my understanding of things. And so, Wade's word of the day is kind of a result of that, and in other spaces. And so I really got serious about thinking about what I wanted to be a part of, because prior to that, I was involved in a lot of things. And those of you who know me on a personal level, I was on a lot of boards and different things like that. And I really just started to ask myself, man, where can I do the most help? Where can I, make the most impact? And then if I'm going to be doing it, I want to find joy in it. I don't just want it to be something that I'm doing, but I want to really find some joy in it. Anybody understand? Anybody picking up what I'm putting down tonight? And so there was a level for me where it was like, yo, I want to be happy, but I also want to find joy in the work that I'm doing. Come on, I need y'all to tag, text, and tell somebody. I think, we're going to help somebody tonight. So go ahead and do that real quick. But I wanted to get some real clarity on purpose. Wade, what you want to do? I started asking myself all of these type of questions. Wade, what brings you joy? Wade, what type of people do you want to, be around, and all of these particular things, right? Really, again, taking a deep dive, trying to figure out, you know, what drives me, what makes me happy, um, and looking at it on multiple levels, looking at it from, um, the spiritual side of who I am, looking at it from the mental side of who I am, but then, and also looking at it from the physical standpoint. And so, I wanted to be fit in all of those areas, right? I didn't just want to be one dimensional. People see me in one certain light. I wanted to be fit mentally. I wanted to be fit physically. And then I wanted to be uh, fit spiritually. And I started asking myself, what does that look like? And really, to be quite honest, um, having deep dives, even in terms of everything that I thought about, or even some truths that I held to be true. Every now and then, you need to do that, right? To begin to ask yourself, is what I'm believing really what I believe, right? Oftentimes I say it like this: the only parts of the Bible we really believe are the parts that we do. So if I could say it like that, I really started to really look at and ask myself, um, what do you really believe? What is really true to you? Those type of questions. All those questions, that I float out here, that I kind of ask you all, right? What makes you happy? Are you getting some clarity on your purpose? What is stopping you from moving in your purpose? What really makes you thrive and what makes you tick? These are all questions that we must begin to ask ourselves. And sometimes you need to ask yourself those questions on different levels and multiple times. And so there was a crossroad that comes in my life, and I'm starting to ask all of those questions. I'm starting again to think about, what is it that you really believe? How are you going to really navigate your life going forward? What is true and what is important to you? Right. And I landed on a few things. One, um, in my advocating and activism lane, I no longer was just going to be on stuff that didn't fulfill me, that didn't really move um, towards places where I was trying to go, that would have the capability and the capacity to really make meaningful input. So I no longer just wanted to be on boards. You find what I'm saying? It didn't really matter if my resume said he's a member of this board any longer. And truthfully, I knew that all my life, because even, sometimes you get pushed into certain things. But even when I would go to speak, I never would put all of my stuff on there, because for me, I never really cared about it. It didn't matter. Some of these things I did for me, but I didn't really care about resumes. People made you feel like you needed to care about it, and so to a certain extent, you did it. But I just really didn't care about that kind of stuff. And so, you know, in this moment, I became clear on that. So I didn't care about that any longer. So I didn't, it didn't really matter if I sat on one board or three boards or four boards or whatever. It didn't even really matter any longer to me, because for me, it was like, whatever board I'm sitting on, one, I want to be clear and in tune to the vision of this particular entity. I want to believe that this entity has the same values as me. Um, and that's just what it was, and that's what it was. And so I start resigning from certain spaces that really, they were doing good work, but I found that I no longer wanted to be a part of doing that type of work. And so even here in my city, sometimes people, I see them every now and then, they'd be like, "Oh, what happened to you?" Whatever. Nothing. I'm still here. I just began to get clarity on what I wanted to do. And so, Denzel says it quite eloquently. He says, just because you're moving doesn't mean that you're making progress. Right. And you know, and that's true. Just because you're moving doesn't mean that you're making progress. And so, what would we be? I started asking those questions in terms of ministry, in terms of my personal life, and all of those particular things. And I said all that to say this. You cannot really, we talk about, living my best life, moving into my purpose and all of those things, but you really can't get to those places until you evaluate yourself, until you really sit down and do a deep dive and figure out what really drives you, what really motivates you, what you are really into and in tune with. Because sometimes you can be in tune with certain things because other people, think that it's important, so forth and so on. You follow what I'm saying? Other people, you know, they lay some pressure on you to do certain things. I was talking to somebody earlier and I was saying oftentimes, even in the space of our regrets or what people perceive to be mistakes, a lot of that sometimes the pressure that comes from outside folk, because even sometimes the folk who you say are rocking with, you say you go through a hiccup. Sometimes they move away, not necessarily because it has anything to you. It's because of what it has to do with them. They don't want the pressure of saying, yes, I'm still cool with so and so, even though they're having a struggle right now. They don't want to have the pressure of being able to do that. I don't understand that, but that's what happens quite often. They don't want to have the pressure of having to explain why they are still cool with somebody who went through a moment, who had a struggle. And that's more, and once you understand that, that's more about them than it is about you. You dig what I'm saying? And so my thing is, if I'm rocking with you, I'm rocking with you. That's just kind of how I see it, right? If I'm rocking with you, I'm rocking with you. That's what it is. You feel what I'm saying? In the same way that I would expect that you would help me walk through my stuff, I'm going to help you walk through your stuff. That's just what it is, And so that's how I live and that's how I see life from that standpoint. But I had to understand that a lot of people ain't like that. A lot of people rock with you sometimes because of what you can do for them or what you stand for. They're not necessarily standing with you. And so if you fall off, they fall off. If you get that, right? If you struggle, then they step away and they look for the next person. That's life. And so had to come to grips with a lot of those particular things. But ultimately, for me, it was like, finding what really drives me. And that's really what Way's Word of the Day is really about. It's about me out loud sharing what drives me, what is important to me, and also giving practical, tangible uh, information on how you too can live life out loud, how you can move beyond the pain of your past, how you can make the shift and the recognition that, one chapter does not define the whole book. You feel what I'm saying? That matter of fact, you can learn from certain chapters that will propel you and push you into a greater space that'll tell a greater story uh, in the remaining chapters of your life. And that's true with all of us who are in this space, even right now. Some of the earlier chapters in your life have propelled you to be able to tell the greater stories in the latter chapters of your life. But you've got to come to grips with, hey man, that was a moment. I learn from that, I grow from that, I build from that. And that has propelled me into the place and the position and the purpose that I'm operating in right now. You dig? Is anybody picking up what I'm putting down? And so that's really why we show up in this space. We show up in this space to connect with one another, to share and live out loud, right? To help one another make it through uh, the various moments in our lives. The writer speaks about, to those who mourn, mourn. So there's seasons of mourning together, but then there's seasons of rejoicing together. That's called life, y'all. That's called life. And that's what we dare to do in these spaces, right? This whole life streaming together. That's what this whole thing is all about. And so for me, at the end of the day, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to say, man, I want to find meaningful places where I can use the gifts, the talents, and the abilities that God gave for me, but really push and see some of the things that a lot of people talk about. I want to see them come to pass. And so I'm very, some people, I'm very passionate about Black and brown, low to moderate income folk, and the desire to see them strive. I'm just not a worry about you type of guy. Only worry about you. I'm just, our world has transitioned to that, when the reality is we have never been that. And I always ask the question, who taught you that? You follow what I'm saying? I've just never really been a worry about your own self type of person, because I believe that if you get to the top of the mountain and you have only worried about yourself, when you get there to your greatest height, who are you going to be able to celebrate with? Who did you bring along for the journey? Who cried with you when you struggled? Who strengthened you when you were being challenged? Who encouraged you? If you just think this whole life is about you and just you attaining whatever it is that you're trying to attain, when you finally attain it, you'll look at it and you'll be lonely about it. I was just reading from one NBA reporter. He's talking about one NBA guard. I won't say it, but won the NBA championship, won, and was mad. All the challenges that have been fighting for, win the championship, and he's mad because there's a recognition. If you think that you've been doing all of this by yourself, when you finally get to that thing, there is nobody there to really celebrate with. Then what's the joy in that? What's the joy in that? And so, that's what I do. That's how I think about it. That's what we try to bring to the space, trying to get you to understand that you've got to do the work. And that work is hard work. But it's hard work looking at yourself, looking at your challenges, looking at your your faults, but also recognizing I'm not going to regret my regrets. Paul said that. He says, forgetting those things which are behind and pressing forward to those things which are ahead. Press towards. And so that's what we try to talk about. That's what we try to encourage in these spaces. This is why we try to make it a judge-free environment. It's an environment where we try to challenge, but we don't judge. We don't have these stigmas of what certain people believe, how you should be operating in certain contexts. We just don't subscribe to that stuff. Now others, they don't feel like, that's what it should be in the capacity that I hold, but that's what I believe. We want people to be free, to be clear about who they are, the purpose and the plan that God has for their life, and how that operates in a community sense, how we are all tied together. I think it was Hezekiah who said, I need you, you need me. We're all a part of God's family. You pray for me, I pray for you. That's really the goal. That's really the goal, to see us all win. But when we win, we have folk who are there ready to celebrate with us, not hate on us, not try to hold us back and hold us down, but who want to see you soar right? That's what it's all about. And so that's what we try to do in the spaces that we operate. That's really what it's all about. And I say it all the time. If that's the thing that drives you, if that's what you want to be a part of, then come on, be a part. Tell somebody else about it. Share our content. Share, what we're talking about in these spaces. It don't cost you nothing to do that. If you are growing and learning with us together, then you ought to share. That's all a part of that whole process, right? Because we're all learning, we're all growing, we're all discovering, right? That's what it's all about. Big shout out to Leanna. It's her birthday on today. Tashana's birthday is on tonight too. Y'all show them some love. Send them a big happy birthday on tonight. You're getting you're getting early and getting a little mature because it's Wednesday night on your birthday, and Leanna Winstead is here chopping it up with us. Because listen, we know back in the day, didn't care if it was a Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever day that birthday fell on, we weren't going to be listening to no podcasts. You feel what I'm saying? So, as you get older, you get more conservative. That's really the truth. You know what I mean? And your thinking and your understanding, you're like, yo, we pick it up on the weekend or whatever. But, back in the day, didn't care when that birthday fell on, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Listen. Ain't that right, Leanna? I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you didn't care if it was Wednesday. Certainly wasn't going to be listening to no podcast. Be like, it's my birthday. Turn down for what? You feel me? So I'm grateful that Leanna, even on her birthday, is hanging out with us on the night. Everybody show her some love. You know what I mean? Show her some love. I really appreciate it. I really do. That she's hanging out with us tonight. So that's what it's all about. It's really about growing, learning together, celebrating one another, having fun with one another, wrestling with mind, body, and spirit, and those things that drive us and those things that move us. So that's what we do. So this wasn't much of a, tonight I just gave you kind of what we do, how we do it, why we do it, the why we show up in this space, what we're trying to do in this space. And again, I'm grateful that you all, on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, hang out with your boy for about 30 minutes, man. I'm grateful for that because, hey, you could be, doing whatever it is that you do. I wouldn't be mad at you, but I'm grateful that you're hanging out with us on tonight. Yeah. Did y'all show Leanna some love tonight? Yeah, show her some love. All right. So, hey, if this word tonight is added value, if you want to be a part, it's easy to get connected. Just follow us on all of our social media spaces again, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, right here, Facebook, and all of that stuff. Get connected. We appreciate each and every one of you all. I did say Tashana's birthday was tonight too. They twins. At least they think they are. Leanna and Tashana, they think they twins. They cousins, but they act like they cousin sisters. They that tight. So they sister cousins. I didn't say they sister wives. I said they sister cousins. They cousins, but they act like sisters. Is that all right? Did I say that right? Did I say that right, Leanna? Yeah. They all right with me. Let's go out this way. I was thinking about what I wanted to play, but guess we can rock it out like this. Y'all let me know if you're feeling it. Here we go. Hey! I want everybody rock with me on Leanna's birthday tonight. Hey! What we gonna be?
In these last days, evil times will come, and it's here today. Look at all the hate, senseless crime
Come
and
on,
murder
the party's coming
every
up. I need
day.
y'all to get ready
Human
to turn up for Leanna for her
trafficking,
birthday. We
racism,
gonna be
police
all right.